morning and welcome to PromoAM. I'm your morning anchor, Amelia Madl. Today we're going to speak with Ellie Bathe of LogoJoJo, joined by her son, Rob Bathe, that owns Folly Coffee. Let's give him a call. Good morning, Ellie. How are you?
Hey, Amelia. Good to see you.
Good
Cheers.
to see you. Cheers. We got our PromoAM cups.
Some really good coffee.
Yes, and I am enjoying it. You are set up at the roastery that you use for your custom packaging, and I'm drinking some right now. This stuff is amazing.
There you go.
Awesome. So before we get started, let's just talk a little bit about what you do, because coffee beans are not typically something people think of in the promotional products. So tell us a little bit about LogoJoJo and your association with Folly Coffee.
Okay, well, my son, Rob, who's in the background here, he owns Folly Coffee and has been in the specialty coffee business for several years. He has a strong online presence, strong local retail presence, and he's actually been approached before to do some private label. He tried it himself, and of course, as we know, in our industry, there's way more to it than that, where you're dealing with purchase orders and artwork and graphics and proofs and, you know, shipping and all that. So I recently sold my part of the partnership in High Five. I was a distributor for 17 years. I recently sold it to my partner, Carol Smith. So I started my own company, LogoJoJo, as a supplier in the industry, and then Folly Coffee is our vendor for the high-end specialty coffee beans.
Awesome, awesome. So you mentioned that you've been a distributor. So you were a distributor for a really long time, and I think you said you'd probably been doing some business with your son on the side. And then you've made the switch to what people refer to as the dark side a lot, the supplier.
Yeah.
So now, not only are you selling dark blend coffees, but now you're on the dark side as the supplier.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So tell us a little bit about, with being newer to the supplier side now, not that you're not from the promo, but you've joined Promoshow and you've been using it to have some conversations. What's that been like for you, starting a new supplier company and then utilizing Promoshow with it?
You know, I should have mentioned too, we are at the roastery right now where Rob roasts his coffee. So I wish you could smell it because it's amazing. But anyway, I didn't really use Promoshow as a distributor, but and I probably signed up for Promoshow a little prematurely as a supplier because I didn't have samples yet. I wasn't on Sage yet. I mean, my website wasn't done, and I'm still kind of in the process. But I'll tell you, I've gotten some of the greatest advice from distributors entering my booth, and just people just like saying, "This is a great idea. There's no really high-end specialty coffee in our promo business, and it'd be a great fourth quarter corporate gift. You know, you could pair it with something else. You could kit it with something else." And so it's just been like, okay, like Lou Goutman out of Ohio, Advertising Alternatives. He's a distributor that randomly entered my booth. We've like just struck up a friendship. And he's now, I just talked to him a couple of days ago. He called me. He wants me to present in front of his Zoom distributor networking group in Ohio. So, I mean, and that just, you know, came out of just him entering my booth, and we had a meeting, and it's been awesome. And as a distributor, I wish I would have used it. I mean, I think a distributor, especially now since the whole world's gone virtual, as a distributor, you can have one-on-one talks with suppliers and develop relationships much more so than calling a customer service line and talking to somebody that you don't know who they are. I mean, it's way more personal, and you get more information, and I think you get a sort of more of an insight to really who the suppliers are, especially the smaller ones, especially a startup like me. I mean, I have samples ready to go and have already sent them to everyone that I met on Promoshow because it was just a conversation that led to, you know, they want to see our product, they want to taste the coffee.
Very cool. So I've asked you a couple questions now with Folly or with LogoJoJo. What you guys is you take the Folly coffee beans and you're packaging. So you're putting.
Yeah. This is a little promo piece. I just got this. It's our little promo piece that we're sending out as samples, and so we do a custom label on the high-end coffee beans. So, you know, and we have the templates available. We take care of printing the labels. We inventory the pouches. We can drop ship. That's a whole nother world. Oh my God, there's a whole drop ship thing. But I'm learning that. And so we inventory all that here. And it's just like any other supplier. You put in a purchase order with us. You send in the artwork. We do the proof. and we ship it wherever you want. And you know, maybe this would be a good time for Rob to explain sort of.
I was going to say, would he like to tell us what's in the packaging? Because the packaging looks awesome, but what people are really getting, or what they want, is the goodies inside of this. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about your company and your process and why they would want to custom label it.
Yeah, I started Folly after a couple of years of just becoming really, really obsessed with high-end coffee. I used to be in sales, and I kind of was just drinking coffee as something in the morning to get going and throughout the day because it was a pretty stressful job. But then one of my coworkers saw me drinking some really low-end coffee and was like, no, like you are way into high-end. I was a beer salesman, so high-end beer, high-end food to be drinking that crap coffee. And so he sent me to a roaster in St. Louis, and I had this first cup. It was a naturally processed Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. It had like these blueberry notes, and it started this like 2-year obsession of like, I need to find every coffee like this. I need to learn all about coffee. And it really didn't turn into a business idea until after a couple of years when I went out west and noticed that it wasn't the large national roasting companies that people were excited about. It was what's called the third wave style of coffee. It's a lighter roast. It brings out the natural flavor of coffee. And so I kind of compare it to, if you're cooking a hamburger, do you want to cook a hamburger really, really dark? Well, no, because it's going to be dry and bitter. Coffee, when you start with a really high quality bean, is the same way. And so we source only ethically sourced beans. We pay well above fair trade prices for all of our coffees. And not only is it better for the supply chain that everyone's getting treated fairly, but it also makes it so that we get a really high quality bean and we roast it in a way that brings out this natural sweetness. And so one of the biggest comments we get when we're sampling our coffee is that I don't need cream or sugar for this, which is like the highest compliment you can get as a coffee roaster. And I've been really fortunate to find people around me that Jeff, who's now our head roaster, is a top 15 coffee taster in the country. He is a certified Q grader, which is like the sommelier of, so picture a wine sommelier, but for coffee. And that's allowed me to really focus on like growing this business. And so I still get to taste all of our coffees, but he's taken this program to the next level. And so why I'm really excited about this partnership is, like my mom mentioned, was that like I've had people reach out and be like, hey, can we do private label? And I'm like, it shouldn't be that hard. And then all of a sudden you get 20 requests of very specific things. And I've had to say no, which is really tough for small business because I want to get our coffee out there. But this kind of combines the best of both worlds, that we can focus intensely on roasting the best coffee possible, and she can focus on the private labeling, the customer service, making sure that things are timely and done in a really professional, clean-looking manner, so that we're just like everybody in the entire process is taken care of. But one thing that got me really excited about this partnership is when you look at the promotional products industries. If you were to get like a bottle of wine for somebody and you're looking to spend $15 to $20, you might get a pretty okay bottle of wine. But if you're willing to spend that same amount on a 12-ounce bag of coffee, which is going to be about 25 cups of coffee, we're going to be able to get you like some of the best beans you'll have tasted. And that's what I get really excited about in an industry that I don't know a lot about.
Thanks. Cheers.
Well, again, that's going to do it for us today. This is Amelia Madl from PromoAM, wishing you a happy PM, and we'll see you again next Monday. Thanks.